Ooh, too close. So I'm back. It's been like a month, I think. I don't know. I didn't look. And the reason it's been that long is that I'm still struggling with the same stuff that I think I talked about in the first video. I feel like I don't know what to talk about. I feel like I'm saying the same things that other people have already said. Like what I'm saying isn't unique. But I do truly believe that everybody's voice is important. And so we're just going to push past it. That's a self limiting belief. And we're just going to push past it. And we're going to continue getting uncomfortable. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the struggle that I've been dealing with the most lately. Again, it's also something I mentioned in my first video that I wanted to talk about what I'm doing to deal with that, because I know I'm not the only one that's constantly getting sucked into the screens and is then asking yourself, why am I doing this again? Like, I had all these things I wanted to do and yet here I am, right? So part of the reason I'm trying to fight this is, of course, for my bookkeeping business that I want to start. And I have some goals I set for 2026 related to that, how many clients I want to have by the end of the year, want to replace my income by 2027. But there are other things that I want to do too. I'm trying to get better with my sleep. I'm trying to meditate more. I'm trying to journal more. And the screen keeps getting in the way of all of that stuff. And I say screen, but ChatGPT told me that it's also emotional regulation. Anyway, so yeah, I have a lot going on. So it makes sense that I would want to escape my reality for a little bit into a place that's comfortable and known, especially if I'm watching something I've already watched. And then there's just the paralysis I think that we all feel when things get so overwhelming and you don't even know where to start. But we're not going to let that win. So I found a couple of things lately that have been working for me, and I just wanted to share them with you. One is the Freedom app. I don't know if you've heard of it. This is not sponsored. I think I'm a little early in the game for sponsors. But what it does is that it allows you to block apps on your phone. You can also use it on your computer and it blocks websites there too. And you might be thinking, well, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff out there like that. What's cool about the Freedom app is that it has a locked mode. Now, maybe some of the other ones have that. I don't know. I hadn't seen it before. But basically, with Freedom, you start a session. It can be an hour, 2 hours, whatever block of time that you want. During that session, whatever apps that you've chosen that you don't want to be able to access, they're blocked. And the thing is that you can end the session at any time. So you might think, well, what good is that doing me, right? I can just hit end session, access those apps again, and it really didn't do me any good. But if you turn on the locked mode, you can't end the session. So now you are locked into whatever that session time period was. So if you set it for an hour and you have lock mode on, that is it. You cannot access those apps for an hour. And so that can be good and bad. And I actually purchased the annual subscription because I wanted to have recurring time blocks. And I believe you need a subscription for that piece of it. And so I had all of these recurring sessions set up. I basically made it so I only had like an hour per day on my phone and on my laptop that I had free. And then I had it in locked mode. And then there were a couple of times where I needed it and it was in locked mode. And I was kind of stuck. I just recently got rid of the recurring part of it. So maybe I didn't need to buy the annual subscription anyway. But regardless, I highly recommend Freedom, especially if you're going to use it in locked mode. And if you're like, well, I can just delete the app, I think they even have another like little toggle that you can do so that you can't delete the app either. Like it really does, I think, do a good job of completely locking you out, whether you ultimately regret it or not. The other thing I've been doing, and this advice is everywhere, I'm definitely not the first person to say it. Even though it's so simple and obvious, still most of us aren't doing it. And it's the whole concept of how do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. It's taking these big things that feel overwhelming and putting them into bite-sized pieces. I was watching somebody on Instagram, I can't remember who it was now, and they just did a really good job. Somehow it just clicked all of a sudden for me, even though I'd probably heard this before, that you have to start so simple. It's like if you have a big project to do on your computer, just tell yourself, I'm just going to open the computer or I'm just going to sit down at my desk. That's it, right? Just that one thing. And then now you're sitting at your desk. Now I'm going to open the spreadsheet or whatever. Like just these tiny, ridiculously small things one at a time. So I can't remember if I mentioned in one of my previous videos that what I'm currently working on is a bookkeeping program. I did do a 2-year accounting degree that ended in August of last year. So I know a lot of the things. I know about journal entries, I know about debits and credits. So a lot of what this program is teaching me QuickBooks very specifically so that I know the program that I'm mainly going to be using. I really want to be as much of an expert as possible in it. It's also teaching many other elements of running a bookkeeping business. And so there are training videos associated with this. And every time I would think about working on it, I would time block maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour, something like that. And you might think, well, that sounds reasonable. That sounds doable. And yet it just kept not happening. It just kept getting pushed back. So then I started to think, well, what if I just tell myself I'm going to watch one video per day, just one video per day? And a lot of times these videos are short. They're like, sometimes they're 5 minutes, sometimes they're 8 minutes, sometimes they get a little bit up there, like 15, 20 minutes, but that's still reasonable. And honestly, I'm watching them at 1.5 speed, so they're even shorter. And I said, okay, one video a day. What if I just do that? Because honestly, I had not been watching any videos for several days. So I'm like, if I watch one video per day, that's certainly better than what I've been doing. Right now, actually, what I landed on is watching 2 videos per day. And so far this week, I actually have been holding to that very well because in my mind, watching 2 videos per day just doesn't feel as overwhelming. It just really seems doable. And that's the goal. That's what's going to make you actually do it, is to not feel overwhelmed by it before you even start. So that's all for me today. Hopefully, it won't take another month or more to get out the next video. I might venture into some shorts. We'll see. Stay safe out there, everybody.